social entrepreneurship offer a role model that will engage youths? That's the question.
Yes, I believe so. The great thing about social entrepreneurship is it accomplishes a human need. So it meets the needs of people within society. But then it also has a profit motive, which is positive, I think, not negative. I think we often associate this with negative. In terms of our generation, we often see profit motive meaning that you have ulterior motives, like you're doing something for the wrong reason. But I think that actually social entrepreneurship provides a middle ground where you can expect to be able to help people. At the same time, you can expect that you won't have to starve while you help people. And that actually social entrepreneurship, one of the things that I think it postulates, that I think is largely true, that one of the greatest things that you can do for yourself or for anyone is to provide economic stability. And if you're able to provide economic stability to yourself and to other people, that is providing a real a human right, really. So social entrepreneurship helps us to engage business, helps us to engage social problems in a way that not only solves the challenge that we are facing, but also our society is facing, but also allows for us to feed our families and to go to the doctor and these things, and that should be our right as well, right? And so I think that social entrepreneurship recognizes the two sides of the equation. And for me, this is what makes it such an attractive role model for youth and for society at large. I mean, it's really about culture setting. It's helping people to understand the value of social business.
Okay. So, what would be your definition of a social entrepreneur?
So, I subscribe to just a simple metric of double, triple bottom line. A double bottom line would be that you're not only trying to trying to maximize revenue only, that you are trying to you have an equilibrium in your metrics between social impact and revenue. Triple bottom line is also when you add in the environmental factor, right? So that you're looking at your impact on the environment, your impact on humanity, and your impact on your wallet. And for me, this is a very simple way to understand social entrepreneurship.
Okay. What do you think are the main barriers that are stopping you from getting into social entrepreneurship?
I think a lot of it has to do with just awareness. Actually the second that you say social entrepreneurship, it's actually a little bit confusing for a lot of people, I think. Because you hear the word social and they're not sure what you mean by it. You hear the word entrepreneurship and you become confused because you're saying you want to do like these social things, but then you're hearing the word entrepreneurship, and so it becomes a little bit confusing at times. Again, because I think a lot of the rhetoric within culture at large, within our generation, I'm speaking from a very American point of view. I don't know the exact Nigerian point of view. But from an American point of view, a lot of the rhetoric within our generation is that big business has failed society. And, they've polluted our waters. They've given us unhealthy food. They've made us pay more than we needed to pay. Also, they could become, billionaires. I mean, this is, so they could have more than is necessary and store it in some bank somewhere. And so I think that this is often the perception of big business from our generation. So when you hear entrepreneurship, I think one of the biggest hurdles anywhere is really just understanding, what do you mean by social entrepreneurship? What does it mean to have a triple bottom line? And I think that those sorts of that awareness is a very important factor. And so what I think that comes down to is just good case studies, having good working examples for the youth to be able to see. So in Ghana, you have something called Heal the World. They're making shoes here in Ghana. It's an awesome social enterprise. Actually, Fred is the incoming curator for the Schaefer. The founder is the incoming curator for the Schaefers here. A good friend of mine. So anyways, they've provided an excellent example, I think, of social entrepreneurship to Ghanaian youth. And so Ghanaian youth have an awesome example that they know to look to for what does it mean to be a social entrepreneur. But I think that a lot of societies are missing, a lot of cultures or a lot of communities, let's say communities, a lot of communities are missing that example, you know, because it's still something that's quite new. So, you know, like having a working example that has made enough attention to really, or had enough impact, or generated enough revenue to really make a community aware of its existence is still something that is missing. And so this is where it's helpful for the people who already subscribe to these philosophies to just get down to business and to make their social enterprise happen, and for people to become aware of their revenue and their impact, you know, and to see that it is possible to have both.
Okay. So would you be willing to mentor young social entrepreneurs?
Sure, I do. It's not a matter of whether I would be willing to. I absolutely do.
Okay. Do you have social entrepreneurs interning with you at the moment?
Well, I mean, we have social entrepreneurs who are within our portfolio. You know, so you know, we are not exclusively setting up social enterprise, although we expect that all businesses coming out of our ecosystem would respect culture, the environment, human rights. But you know, by definition, you don't have to be a social business per se. Even though this is more the philosophy that I subscribe to. You know, but there have definitely been emerging from our ecosystem, you know, various social enterprises that you know, that I'm helping to bring to reality. And so for me, this is you know, the role that I'm already playing, and I do have an interest in continuing to play.
Okay. When you say you subscribe to the philosophy triple bottom approach, how practical is that? How can you do a business to be sustainable at the same time considering the environment and then impact?
I think there's a lot of examples. Again, I'll point to the American ones because they're the ones I'm more familiar with, although I pointed to Heal the World, which is Ghanaian. But you have like Tom's Shoes, you have Whole Foods, which is like an organic market, which has been rated many times as America's best employer. And it's a huge company. It's a multi-billion-dollar company. And you know, they're providing access to healthy food, to products that are good for the environment. They are selling things like clothes there that were made, you know, by disadvantaged peoples. I mean, they're doing really amazing things at a massive scale. And so I think that we have examples that show us that this is absolutely possible. So for me, it's not theory, you know, it's practice. I see the working examples, and I look to make my own company a positive working example as well.
Okay. I think that would be all. Thank you so much.
Yeah, of course.
I'm going to send the video clip